Hi, in today's video, I want to take a look at these G.I. Joe classified figures. I just got them. We've got 115 Franklin Airborne Tall Tree, and we have 117 the Techno Viper. Let's take a look at the boxes. I also wanted to show you my new Cobra light back there. I got that at the last toy show I was at, and I was a vendor there. And there was a guy across from me, and he was selling these lights. And I just think that they're really cool, so I thought I would feature that in this video. Let's take a look at Airborne. Now, I had Airborne as a kid. This was one of my favorite figures. I think I played with him quite a bit. He was always in the Sky Striker with Ace, but to me, he also looked like he could be on the ground. So I always had him in the Vamp, and I had him in all the different types of vehicles. And I love what they've done to him so far from what I can see here in the packaging. We want to look on the side. You can see his artwork there. And on the top, you can see his number, 115, and his number here with his ranks. Let's get my round light on and we can see that a little bit better. Now, I don't know if that's a digital rendering or what it is, but I just like, probably the background is obviously a digital rendering, but I'm not sure if the figure is or if that's the actual figure, but it just looks really cool. I also pre-ordered the Techno Viper when I heard this was coming out. I had to have him, and he looks really good. He is 117. There's his ranks, 117 on the top, and I'll take that light off so you can see that artwork better. And then we look on the back. It's digital rendering, obviously, but I think that is the actual figure. So now I do want to talk about the packaging. About a year ago, I heard that they were going back from the environmentally friendly box back to the plastic windowed box, and there were some people saying that it's because this box is way more expensive for Hasbro to produce than this box. I'm not sure how true that is, but they've clearly gone back to the windowed box, and I'll tell you why I don't like that. For one thing, if you're a box collector, even though you're holding on to it now, someday this is going to go in the garbage, and I don't believe these windows are recyclable. This box here that they've been producing, all the contents inside is a cardboard based, paper based product, and these are 100% recyclable to my knowledge. And I think that's too bad that they did that. Not only I think that it's too bad that they did this and they went back to this, but I do like these boxes better. And I know a lot of people had issues with that, with a lot of these IPs that Hasbro was changing to the environmental type box. They were saying that the product inside wasn't the right product. People were switching them out. People were stealing the figures, all that stuff. And I never really had, personally, a problem with that. I had a problem with this. I had a bunch of figures that I got from Amazon, and they were missing accessories, and sometimes you couldn't even see it in the box because it was covered up here. I think the artwork on this box is better. I like the shape of it better and the display of it now. They never used to have these tabs on the top. They used to have the plastic tab to display it, and now we're back to this again. Now, it is what it is. I'm still going to collect them. I am going to be keeping the boxes. I do like to display them like this in the back here and behind me. I have a big display of all of my classified figure boxes, and I think they look great, and I'll be keeping these in my collection. And if you decide to sell your collection, I think having the boxes will give you a higher return back on the figures. So let me know what your thoughts on them changing to the original box. Do you like them better? Do you wish they didn't change them? Or are you just neutral on it and you really don't care? Let me know in the comments. Let's get back to looking at the figures now. Looking at these figures outside of the box, I will say that these figures do come with quite a few accessories. Now, the vintage Neo Viper figure did come with a lot of accessories, but they've given Airborne a bunch of extra updates and extra things, like some extra goggles. You can either put them on his helmet which on the vintage figure, those were molded on. And you also have some goggles that you can just put on an unhelmeted Airborne. Now, if we take a look at this guy a little closer, he does have that original looking color to him. The blue is a little bit more blue than the bluish green. And we'll take a look at the vintage figure and compare him. But he does have a holster here. He does have all of his straps here, that he's got some pouches, a knife sheath here. We've got a black grenade here. And this vest here is a separate piece that goes all the way to the back. Not a lot of stuff going on in the back, but we do have some green and some brown paint apps there. He does have his belt here that goes all the way around, and the straps on his legs go all the way around too. He's got some elbow pads here on the elbows in the dark brown, and he's got the main color, which is the tan color, on his outfit, along with these gray boots and matching gray gloves. I do like the looks of this figure. He does not, to me, look like Airborne. He doesn't have the right complexion, and the original figure had a different complexion, and his original file card said that he was Navajo. And that's unfortunate. I think they could have made him look more like the vintage figure. If you look here, this is what Airborne to me is supposed to look like, and he does not have those features whatsoever. Looking at the vintage figure, you can see that a lot of the details are the same. He does have a paint app here, which I think is supposed to be like a patch, and you can see that that patch is on his left shoulder here, where here it's down on his bicep more. Now, I've said in the past, these classified figures, they always change the coloring. They try to keep the same kind of palette, but maybe a little muted or a little darker instead of too bright. And so that's what they've done here. Now, we do have a helmet here, and it does have the brown straps on a green helmet. Let's see if that fits on his head. It does fit on his head really nicely. The strap hanging down here, it doesn't actually, it's not long enough to strap around his chin. So that's kind of weird that they did that. Here's his backpack with a shovel in black. Now, the original backpack was a tan color instead of a dark brown, and I like that they did that. That update is cool, and I'm glad that they incorporated the shovel into the backpack, which just pegs right here on the back. Now, we've got his goggles here. We can put on to match what we saw from the vintage figure. And do I like that? I think I'm going to keep it like that. I'll probably never take his helmet off. And having these separate goggles, I probably will never put on his head. So I think I'll just keep it like that. Now, when you put those goggles on, it makes his helmet kind of move on his head a little bit. I don't know why that is doing that. I guess it's because of his strap. I'm going to take a couple seconds and arm him up with how I want to display him, and then we'll take a look at him. So here you can see how I've put all his accessories on. These are the ones that I care about. He does have his gun in his holster, his handgun, and he does have a little spot here, I believe, for his removable clip here. I suppose you could put these in there too if you want to try to put that on his body. Now, these are supposed to plug in to that hole that you saw earlier before I put the goggles on. And I'm not going to put these on him. I want him with the goggles like that. And I'm not going to be putting these on here. but you can see that they did paint those with that shiny metallic blue, not only on there but on the lenses on this part too. So that was a really cool update, and that's a nice detail. So this is how I'm going to display him like this. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't actually give him a bayonet style gun here. It's similar, but instead of the bayonet, they put a silencer on the front of his machine gun, and I would have enjoyed seeing the bayonet. Let's take a look at Techno Viper. He's got that purple. Like I said, it's muted. It's a little darker. It's not as bright as the original Viper here. And he does have some updates here too. Let's take a look at that. We've got some digital printing here. I think that's like a digital display. We got another display here, and there's some cool artwork on that. Let me just look at that and see what that is. And you can see what that is there. It looks like some kind of digital globe of some sort, and some writing there. And we've got some stuff here on this arm. It says Cobra with a Cobra symbol, and then some other digital media that's on his arm. So now I will say, when I was picking this figure up, I was quite impressed with the sales guy that was at GameStop. I pre-ordered this, I came and picked it up, and then he gave it to me and said, well, we have 2 other on the shelf if you'd like to go and see which one is the better figure when it comes to the paint apps and stuff. And I appreciated that he gave me that opportunity to do that, even though I'm sure after I got the figure I could have done it anyway. But I did actually pick up a different figure from the one I pre-ordered. I found that the Cobra symbol here, it goes up over this little detail. It's a 3D detail that kind of comes out a little bit. I think it's some kind of latch or something on his chest. And on the other one, that paint detail was kind of missing over that little latch, and it looked like it was a scrape or a paint problem. So I picked up the one here that did have the paint on there, and it looks a little bit better than the one that I had. Actually, this is the better one out of all of them. We've got that silver Cobra symbol, and we do have some silver pipes that go from his wrists and all the way around here. And the silver piping goes into his back from his abdomen and his chest here, and it goes all the way to the back. That will look better when we get the backpack on him, because those, I think, are part of the backpack. But they are molded onto his body and his arms. We've got that really cool looking helmet with the green eyes, silver detail, the black detail going all the way around his helmet. And then everything else is pretty much black, including his holster here, which is connected to his belt. Looking at his accessories here, we have his backpack with some tanks. We've got some purple and silver detail. We've got his tools. We've got a handgun here and some kind of weapon here, some kind of laser gun. We have a detachable hose here, which goes to the backpack. And something that the vintage figure did not come with is we've got a virtual reality looking piece here. And here's some of that detail in the reflection here. You can see that. And that's really cool. So let me arm this guy up, and I'll show you what he looks like in comparison to the vintage figure. So here he is the way I'm going to arm him up, and I think he looks amazing. They did a slam dunk on both of these figures, but I think this Techno Viper is the better figure out of the two. And I didn't have this as a child. This isn't a figure that I played with as a kid, but I did collect him in the early 2000s, and I do have his vintage figure here, and I just think he looks amazing. I like the detail on his eyes where they're glowing green, and I do like the 3D VR digital VR piece that they have on his wrist there. Now you can put that on the other side if you want to put that here. And I think that's really cool. Now there's one thing that I think that they missed on this figure is there is two places to put a hose here, and I know that we could probably do that if he's a left-handed. If he's left-handed, you want to put him on this and put his gun over here. But these tools right here, they also plug into the hose like that, and without two hoses, you could either plug one in, his gun in, and that's it. And although it does have the port here to plug another hose in on this side, you don't have two hoses to do that. That's unfortunate. I wish they would have done that better and thought of that. I'm sure it was a cost-cutting thing, but you know, cost-cutting, whatever. Hasbro could have given us two hoses. Now, if you look at the vintage figure, he does have the same kind of look. I like how they made his laser gun here a little less, a little narrow, and a little bit. It's got a better design than I think this big wide silver piece here. And when we look at the back, you can see that this hose goes here. I think the vintage figure did come with two hoses. I only have one for this guy. And then you can see that the three tools that he has does plug into the back, just like the classified version. So that is pretty cool. And I do think that this figure is probably one of my favorite G.I. Joe figures this year so far. So thanks for watching this episode of Toysbackzen. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know which figure out of these two classified figures are the one that you like the best. I think they're pretty close, but the Techno Viper for me is just one tier higher than Airborne, even though I love this guy. I love this figure. He is a figure I played with as a child, and this is my original one too from my childhood. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.